Welcome everyone to the biggest award show of the whole year of the millennia. This is the 2015 Comic of the Year Awards presented by Comic Chat with Gat and Progressive. Not Progressive. But I'm Chris, that's Taylor. We are a show devoted to all things comic books and popular culture that involve the comic nation. And today we're going to go over some of our favorite comics of the year. Because we have no spines, we are not doing an actual ranking of our favorites, except for the final two. I would say the final two, definitive. Yes, definitive first and second best comics of the year. But let's get right into it. We want to make sure you guys enjoy all these because we have a nice little stack, as you can see here. Taylor, what's the first one we want to talk about?
Superman number 38.
Why is that?
Because this is where Superman got a new power.
What was the power?
It's called the Solar Flare.
Oh, is that the... Okay, that's the one where he can unleash the solar flare, but then he has...
Solar, but he's human for like 48 hours.
Right. Okay, so...
24 hours.
Moving on from the issue that we had here, does he use the power a lot in the New 52, or is it mainly just like him saying, look, I got a new fancy power, and then he never uses it again?
Well, he uses it here to defeat the bad guy.
Yeah, but does he ever use it again?
I don't know, I don't read Superman.
You are the worst. Comic of the Year nominee, that is Superman.
Great issue, though. It wrapped up, volume 6, I think, of Superman. It contains the whole story of Ulysses and Superman, and this is just like the end of it, and it was just really good.
Cool. All right, so that's one of our recommendations. Now, the next one that's coming up here is, I would say, it's part of the new category of comics. It was not around any years prior, so this is new. I like this.
They had probably Jughead issues.
Well, let's show it off.
Jughead number 2, specifically number 2.
Yes, number 1 was good. Jughead number 1, we did a review for that, and it was solid. It kind of dragged a little bit, and for something to drag in a one-issue comic, it's not the greatest. But yeah, I really picked up a lot with the time travel stuff that was in Jughead.
Yeah, love Jughead number 2. So that's
take a look at that.
You should read it.
Yeah.
Batgirl Volume 1, the Batgirl of Burnside. This is they soft relaunched Batgirl with number 36, and this is the first couple issues of that, and I just loved it. I love the new take on Batgirl. I love the modern aspects of it. The fact they're using like Instagram and like just it feels really modern, and it kind of has an Archie vibe, which I love Archie. So there's that.
All right, so Batgirl. Make sure you can check out the volume, obviously.
Yeah, the whole volume. Might as well pick it up.
Okay.
Particularly the first issue was good enough that I bought the volume. So
oh, cool.
Number 36. All new, all different Avengers.
Yep.
Number 1, or the continuing series, there's only 2, I think, at the moment, so you could just start picking those up. It's by Mark Waid, art by Kubert. Great, right?
Yeah, I didn't read it, so did you enjoy it?
Yes.
Okay, good.
It's in the top 10.
What did you enjoy it for? What did you like about it?
I love the character interactions. I thought it was well written. I like the idea that it's kind of like it's almost like a ragtag group of Avengers. They're not official anymore. It's kind of crap happened for Secret Wars and stuff, and they kind of just are all getting together. Yeah, I like it.
Iron Man's suit turns into a car?
His car turns into an Iron Man suit.
There we go. His car turns into an Iron Man suit.
And then the second one, Spider-Man surfs on his back.
Yep. Great.
That's good stuff. Favorite of yours too, Chris? Huck.
Yes, Huck was great. This was essentially them mirroring Superman, but this guy has these powers, essentially just like Superman, and he wants to do good. And it was really great in the first issue. The second issue has come out yet.
It's good. I read it.
Yeah, great. So, I mean, the art, I enjoyed the art. I enjoyed the pacing of the story. I enjoyed the character interactions. I thought it was good. It's the most non-comic booky for me. It seemed more, I would read it as a short story. Mm-hmm. It's a good story.
Dark Knight 3, The Master Race, number 1.
This is interesting.
Why?
You would think it'd be higher on the list of things that we like.
This is no order, Chris.
Well, we know the definitive of 2 and 1, so I mean, I would think. What would you put that one as? Top 10, top 5?
3 or 4.
3 or 4? Okay. Why is that?
Because it's the new Dark Knight, and the art's great, and the story's great, and everything about it is great.
All right, except for that major cliffhanger at the end.
Yeah, it was a big cliffhanger, but the second one comes out next week.
Yeah, but they're doing these things for.
Sorry about that. By the way, this is coming out after New Year's. What is coming out, Chris?
Well, Comic of the Year we can't do in 2016. This is coming out around Christmas time. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, so this is coming out, the 30th.
Backwards.
This is coming out the 30th. This book is coming out the week before that, but we're recording early because of the holidays.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about Dark Knight.
You all definitely need to know that.
Talk about it in the new year. Vader down, baby!
Here we go.
I really liked it. It's Star Wars. It's awesome.
It's great for, I have read them as well. It's great for Star Wars fans. It's not as great for non-Star Wars fans. The first issue is very nice. The second issue was bleh. But then part 3, it's a good mix of strong story, great art style, and Darth Vader being a badass. The thermal grenades was the coolest part of the whole series.
They're thermal detonators, but
whatever.
Grant Morrison's Multiversity.
The award for the thickest, most in-depth book
Yeah, goes to that.
of the millennium.
For sure. It's amazing, everything about it, especially the map of the multiversity, so multiversity guidebook particularly, as well as this one, which is called Ultraman Comics. So Guide to Multiversity and Ultraman are my two favorites of this book, but they are, the whole thing is just really good and in-depth and crazy and awesome.
Yeah, the actual, where he's spelling out every single Earth?
The different the multiverse.
The worlds. Okay, so it's very good for someone to read, if especially when you get a lot of background into the DC Comics universe, because it is so deep and there's so many different storylines going around. It's something to pick up and take a look at for a couple years.
All right, number 2. Where do you
That's our
want
number 2?
Yeah, number 1.
Okay, here we go.
Number 2, Batman Endgame Volume 7.
Yes. This was a great continuation of what's been going on with Capullo and Snyder. I have the whole point of the show that when we started this about a year and a half ago was that I didn't really read a lot of comics, and Taylor has read a lot, and he's taught me a lot about comics. And the Capullo Snyder Volume 1 through 7 have just been fantastic, to the point where now I'm reading each single issue for what will be Volume 8. This is, to me, my favorite. We did a ranking. Do you remember which, like, the ranking of the volumes? I think it was like 7 and then 1 and 2, because I love the owl really stuff. And then, there's this kind of jumps from Death of the Family straight into Endgame. There's some things in Volume 6 that are throwaway people who come in who are now being a big part of 7 and 8, but really it's all about the Joker and Batman's interaction in this Volume 7, and just seeing two of the favorite characters of the DC Universe going one-on-one, and the way it ends builds to a lot of what's going to happen in Volume 8, and I think it's great. Art style, it's so beautiful.
Yeah,
great. It's good. Definitely pick up. The next two we're going to read you want to pick up Batman Endgame, though, Volume 7. Do it. But now, our definitive comic of the year. For anyone who follows us on Instagram or Twitter, ComicsChatWGAD on both of those, you're able to see we have a little bit of a crush on somebody. A little bit. There was we're not going to spin this anymore. Our number 1 is definitely the reboot of Archie. Archie number 1. So, I mean, if the volume was out by now, we'd probably...
Volume, right?
Is that 1 through 4?
1 through 3. So
okay.
It's basically all of the Mark Waid and Fiona Staples issues.
Got it. So one of the big things with Archie is that I'd never read an Archie comic before this. Did you? Okay, yeah. So it's the new art style, the way that they were telling the story. There's no superpowers. There's nothing about it. It's just a deep story about characters who, it got us in the very first issue with the hashtag lipstick incident. And while it kind of turned out the lipstick incident different than what I would have wanted, it was definitely great. And everyone's character interaction, the way that they spun this off into Jughead getting his own series too, and the way that, again, the art style from Fiona was just awesome. And, I mean...
You can only pick, I guess, this up at a comic book store. Because it's not even like it's a hardcover. It's a kind of like just an extra. It's called the Collector's Edition, as 1 through 3. So, best Christmas gift ever.
Yeah. So definitely read it. It's for people who enjoy comic books, who don't enjoy comic books.
It's for everybody.
It's an easy thing to read, and it's something you can read in about an hour, which sucks because now you have to wait for each additional issue coming out. But otherwise, that was our list. So we have nothing's definitive in the world of comics today, but that was our list of the top comics. What was that, about 10 or 11?
There's 10.
Okay, so there's 10 of them in there. What did you guys like? What did you guys not like in the list? What did we leave out? There's always something we left out that you guys didn't like, or that you guys did like, and maybe we didn't care for it too much. Were there any comics you can think of this year that you read and you weren't as brought in? I personally am surprised that the Goddamn was not in this list.
It's definitely in there. I don't know. Like, I just read issue 2.
Yeah?
And I still really like it, but these are ones that I would go back and read over and over. Like, I really, really liked them. I think Goddamn would be in the top 15. That was a really good comic.
So, but only for the single issue, or continuing with
I like issue 2.
Okay, so I mean, it's a very gritty graphic story about Cain and Abel, or just Abel, or
just Cain and Noah's in it.
Yeah, and so it's definitely cool. It's interesting to read. Were there any that you read this year and you're thinking, like, this isn't really what I wanted? This is not. I didn't really care for this.
Gwenpool Holiday Special.
Yeah, you were not a fan of Gwenpool Holiday Special. I remember when we were talking about that. What are you looking forward to in 2016? What's the comics that the end of the Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo run of Batman is coming?
Yeah, it's
issue
really
number 50 was just revealed that for both Superman and for Batman, they're going to be back doing what they normally do, and it's going to take a completely different turn as to how the future of the comic series will go, pretty much keeping itself in line with Batman v Superman, which is coming out next year too.
Yeah, I'm really excited about, there's a new Black Panther series starting in February, written by, I can't remember his name right now, but he's an amazing writer for like an actual like newspaper and stuff. Like he's a really good writer. I'll probably put his name right here so we can fix it. But yeah, it's I'm really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to more Batman. I'm looking forward to more Archie, Jughead. I mean, any of these series that are continuing, all new Avengers, Batgirl. I'm looking forward to all those.
Sure.
I'm really looking forward to the volumes coming out of the Justice League. Darkseid War stuff coming out. Like I'm not keeping up with it because I like to get the trades and I just like to read them. So I have those pre-ordered. Yeah, a lot of the trades. So things that are great comics this year that I just want to wait for the whole collections. Kind of like Batman Endgame. I think some of this may have come out before this year, but the volume came out this year. I just like to wait sometimes and just really enjoy it that way.
Cool. Well, there you guys have it. There was our list of non-definitive, except for numbers 1 and 2, of the top comics of 2015. And let us know again in the comments what you guys thought. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ComicsChatWGat. Make sure you subscribe and hit the like button. Give it a share it with your friends, and start a fight. Everyone enjoys the Comics of the Year competition. Any of the year competition, people.
Yeah, what's
will have
something that we
own.
missed that I should have read?
Right, because I'm not going to read it. So, Comics.WGAT, we are a weekly podcast devoted to all things comic books, as we said at the beginning of this. So make sure you subscribe to us. You can see some of our new videos, go into the old back catalog, and otherwise, we will see you in 2016. Bye.
See ya.
Comic book line.
Again.
This is not an operating table.
Hashtag lipstick incident.
Very true. Bye. We did it! Yay! Yeah, it's 11:59 though. Eric Gladstone, you gonna talk to us today?